Hi there, here's Danny from E-SickBiker Studio. Today we talk about entry-level carbon bikes. I'm gonna show you 5 really sick bikes. We are here in the range of $1,800, just roughly for different countries. First off, I'm gonna tell you what is the difference between the entry-level carbon bike and the professional level carbon bike. Then we're gonna compare the components on different bikes from my top 5. And then the geometries, which are really important, especially for the beginners cyclist. And then perhaps which one would I take and why so? So which one really stands out in terms of some designs or features. So these are the 5. Number 1, the order is just, it doesn't matter here. Number 1 is the Cannondale Super 6 Evo. Number 2 in this comparison is the Specialized Tarmac Sport. Number 3, Giant TCR Advanced, and then the Felt FR6, and finally Merida Sculptura, so the sculpture. Let's start with the difference between the entry-level carbon bike and the professional level carbon bike. It will be very easy for some brands, for others pretty complicated. So let's start with the easy one. The entry-level carbon has a lower grade carbon fiber. It will be heavier, and normally the frame, the entry-level frame versus the professional level carbon frame will be like 200-300 grams heavier. So here we have the Sculptura CF2 frame, carbon fiber 2, and as an example, the professional grade for Merida would be Sculptura. This is the 7000E model, and this frame is also made of carbon, but this is the CF4 carbon, as you can see right there. That means there is a blend of higher modulus carbon fiber into the frame that makes the frame lighter, not necessarily stiffer, but lighter, because they add the higher grade carbon fiber, but they also take some of the intermediate grade carbon fiber, so there is less materials, but still same stiffness, or maybe sometimes bit more, bit lower stiffness, but definitely about 200-300 grams of the weight less. So we are staying with the Sculptura 4000, that's the entry level, about $1,800 bike. So I'm gonna just delete the other one, just leave it. And then we have the Felt FR6. As you can see, this frame is the, let's just see here, that's the so-called by Felt UHC Advanced Carbon Fiber MMC with inside-out construction. All right, so that's the entry-level carbon. And then FR3 will have some advanced plus Textreme carbon fiber. That means different blend of carbon fibers for stiffness and lightweight, right? Then we have the TCR, and here we have 2 differences. The TCR Advanced 2, that's our $1,650 entry-level carbon bike. It's made of so-called by Giant high-performance advanced grade composite with variant composite seat post, so it has the integrated clamp here. But then the higher model is the TCR Advanced Pro 1, and it's also made of the high performance advanced grade composite, but the fork will be full composite. So here the difference will be the fork. On this bike, this is our entry-level bike, there will be the alloy steerer, so the fork will have carbon blades and alloy steerer, and the frame will be the same. And then we have the third level of the Pro bike, which is the TCR Advanced SL2 for example. This one is made of different blend of carbon fibers. It's called professional grade Advanced SL composite, but also it will have integrated variant composite seat post. That means that this is just one piece of frame. I mean, this is the carbon fibers, it's made of sheets, but this is not the seat post that you just take in and out. This is the part of the frame. So that's the difference. Once more, it's for more lightweight bike. So these are the professional grade, this is our entry level. And then the Specialized, this is really complicated. You've got many things, but I'm gonna make a long story short. Our entry level is the Tarmac SL4 Fact 9R carbon. Then you can go higher for Tarmac Comp, which will be SL5 Fact 10 carbon, so a bit lighter. Then you will have even different design of the frame, and it will be Tarmac SL6 Fact 10 carbon, even lighter. And finally the S-Works SL6 Fact 12 carbon, so really light, lots of high modulus carbon fibers in there. But we're gonna stick with the entry level with this one. It was just to show you the difference. And finally, Cannondale, very easy. We've got the carbon ballistic carbon Super 6 Evo, and we've got the ballistic carbon high modulus Super 6. So that's pretty easy. So here we have high modulus carbon fiber, different blend, as I said. So it's pretty much the same through all the bikes. Now you just roughly know the difference. Okay, the price, as I said, for all the bikes will be about $1,800. You already know that the Giant will be cheaper. Perhaps the Merida will be cheaper too, but I do believe that you will buy all of these bikes cheaper from what the suggested price on the website is. So I would say you will buy these right now when the season is almost done. Maybe $200, $300, maybe even more. Cheaper than you can see here. So I'm not gonna focus on the price so much. Let's start with the components. And here there are two bikes that will stand out. It is Cannondale Tiagra. That will be the bike with 2x10 drivetrain, Shimano Tiagra. There's always some blend with different brakes, different cranksets, so I'm not gonna focus on that because these are pretty cheap, really entry-level components like the wheels and so. But here for sure it's good to know you've got 10 speed in the rear, so 2x10. And then the other bike with such components, such a drivetrain, will be the Felt. It has also the Shimano Tiagra, where is that, shifters, and so the drivetrain as well, so 2x10. All the rest, which is the specialized Tarmac Sport, and then the Giant TCR Advanced 2 and our Merida Sculptura, all these bikes will have Shimano 105 components with 2x11 drivetrain. Now, is this a huge difference? No, it's not. Entry-level cyclists would not even notice the difference. I would say 2x9 is really good for beginner cyclists. So, but since you are buying like entry-level carbon bike, maybe you are more, you think more about maybe racing in the future or training. So 2x10 is just enough. By 2x11, that's ideal, that's for sure. So we know about that. Then in terms of some features, some bikes will have the threaded bottom brackets, some bikes will have the press fit bottom brackets, which is, I would say threaded is better, especially on the entry-level bikes, but you're not gonna be probably doing anything by yourself by these bikes, maybe. So Cannondale will have BB30, which is kind of a press fit bike. There are the bearings will be pressed into the frame. Then Specialized has the threaded bottom bracket. I would like to have threaded on my bike. And then if I was to choose the entry-level bike, I mean, then Giant has press fit, Felt will have threaded, so here we have threaded, and Merida has press fit. And now, very important thing, which is the geometry. You want to look at the stack and reach. So this is the reach. This is how far you need to reach from the bottom bracket to your handlebars, because that's what will make you more comfy, relaxed, or more racing aerodynamics. And this is the stack. The higher the stack, the more comfy you are on the bike. And here, Merida's approach here is to have different geometry for this entry-level bike and for the pro-level bike, and that's the only one with this approach. All the other brands like Felt, Giant, Specialized and Cannondale will say, if you're going for the racing carbon bike, you're gonna have same geometry as the pro have. But still, Merida is the most aggressive geometry, because stack is 593, so it's pretty long, and then the reach is 394. Let's compare it to Cannondale, for example. With Cannondale, you're gonna have what's the geometry, because that's interesting here. That's here for 56 size. We're gonna have stack of 567 millimeters and reach 393. So Merida has here 593 and here 374. That means it is lower and longer, thus the most aggressive. So if you are flexible, if you have some flexibility, if you are familiar with racing bikes, Merida could be the choice for you. You will be the most aggressive on this bike in terms of the position and the most aero. But if you're not super flexy, maybe not super flexy, if you're not flexible at all, this is maybe your first bike, but you think I want to have a racing bike, not the endurance bike, then maybe think of something in between, like the Felt will have something in between, like 572 by 394. Or maybe even further, that would be Cannondale, Specialized and Giant. These have almost identical geometry, and this geometry will be much more relaxed than the one on the Sculptura, on the Merida. So it's good to know that. Finally, one thing that is pretty important, the seat post on all of these bikes is 27.2 millimeters of the diameter, except for the Cannondale Super 6, which has super tiny 25.4. And this is something that stands out. So I think if you were to go for the most comfy bike in terms of the compliance, you will feel the tiny seat post, you will feel the safe system on this bike. All of these bikes will have some systems that have to improve our comfort on the bike, the compliance of the whole chassis. But Cannondale could be the best here. I'm not saying it is the best bike, but in terms of the compliance, it could be the best one. So which one would I choose? Well, Merida Sculptura, most aggressive racing bike, with already 11-speed drivetrain, so you can be shooting for some crits, for some races. You can do it on all of these bikes, but this will be the most aggressive. I think, because I haven't tried all of these bikes, but I've tried the Super 6 Evo high modulus version, but this really tiny seat post does make a difference. And also there is a safe system built into the rear triangle, into this seat tube, into the fork, so this could be the most compliant bike. Otherwise, the price will be pretty similar. Just remember that Cannondale and Felt will have 2x10 drivetrain, so if you really don't want to have 10 speed in the rear, you want to have 11 speed, then there is the Merida, the Giant TCR and the Specialized tarmac that's left for you. But go for the look as well. For example, I don't really like the look of the Specialized. This bend here on the top tube doesn't look that good for me. Maybe different color, the red one. Would you like this one? Or maybe this graphic here. But I think, for me, this is just my opinion, the Giant TCR is the coolest looking bike. The Felt is also very clean look. The Cannondale Super 6 Tiagra comes only in blue and yellow, so if you don't like these colors, you've got some jersey and shorts with black and white or some other colors. Maybe you wanna have some other colors. Maybe the Felt will be better for you, or maybe Sculptura, the black and white fits most of the graphics on the helmets, jerseys and the shoes. Yes, go for the look. I'm not kidding here. If the bike is sick for you, it has to be also good looking. In my opinion, Giant, which is blue and black, but it does look really nice with this integrated seat post clamp. It looks cool. It might be the cheapest from this comparison. All of these bikes are high quality, and I know many people who ride these, so This was the top 5 of the entry level. If you have any further questions, put those in the comments below. If you would like to suggest me some other topic for this online buyer's guide, what kind of bikes you would like to have featured, just let me know. Thanks so much for watching. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Bye bye.